You're being very professional, Stats. Muting your mic. I see you. Here we go. Everybody see me sat down this time? Yes, I feel like sitting down. Standing up, speaking to Stats for an hour. Well, it's an ache. In my legs, that is, not listening. Because he's okay. Yeah.
You're all right. There's a good job I muted myself, actually, because I just...
You're swearing at your phone.
The biggest
with all the
F-bomb put under my breath, so luckily...
with all the pop-ups on and stuff like that. Oh my God. Yes. You know, and I didn't know YouTube were alerting you when you take a screenshot.
Apparently so.
Why is that?
I don't know. Take a screenshot. It says YouTube has detected your screenshot. All right, whatever. So.
Yeah. All right. What you could do about it then?
That's what I mean. Well, they will eventually, because there's some apps you can't take screenshots, you know, like your bank and stuff.
All right. Okay.
They'll do that soon, I bet you.
All right. Well, let's bring this man on. There he is. Whoa.
Evening.
The Ginga Stinger is in the house.
All right.
You're not going to be apologizing to anybody like Zach Polanski, are you?
Don't apologise, mate. Just don't do anything wrong in the first place, and you should be all right, you know.
Well, I mean, a lot of things happening. Let's just get it out of the way. This is a lads podcast, and if you happen to hear swear words,
tough shit.
Although it is that way, you know, because that's the way that we rock and roll. Because we are lads. It's as simple as that. But we wouldn't swear in front of the women, not at all. Okay, but if there are any women watching, don't take offense. No, don't take offense.
Definitely not my fence.
Go on. Not my fence, yeah.
No, I've lost enough of that as it is with the wind, isn't it?
Well, here's one funny that you're going to love. Now, I don't know whether you know this guy or not. Jeff Norcott, comedian. You might recognize his face. He is funny. Okay. Well, I've got, you know, as an introduction to get moving, here's Jeff on Starmer. Because Starmer's our hate boy, really, isn't he? You know. Our whipping boy.
Argument with Manderson, he wanted sympathy, didn't he? He said, Peter Manderson lied, and he lied again. You're like, what? The Prince of Darkness lied, did he? The twice sacked Prince of Darkness told a couple of fucking fibs. The game's gone, kid. You can't trust anyone these days, can you? I would love to have been present at the meeting where they decided to give Peter Manderson the job, right? I wonder what other shit ideas were floating around that day. Yeah. Should we stick Hugh Edwards on Masked Singer? Yeah, that's it, yeah. And let's bring back Kids Say the Funniest Things, and let's make Philip Schofield the host. Oh, yeah. Keep them coming, guys. I think that's the kind of public figures we have in this country now. Peter Manderson and Prince Andrew. Mandy and Andy. I think they should do a podcast together, and I think they should call it No Sweat.
Here's Homer Jalili. Homer is like, listen, he just doesn't give a damn.
When you go there, they always give you some kind of, there's always a guide who goes, you come here, you come to Dubai, we are the Las Vegas of the Middle East. You want girl, we got 2 girl. You want drink, you can drink. You want to gamble, you can gamble. All day long, girl, drink, gamble, drink, girl, drink, girl. You want to drink, girl, we blend, girl, you drink it. You want all 3? We blend, girl, you drink it, we bet how quickly you down it in one. I said, actually, no, I'm not into that, all that. I'm actually quite hungry. He goes, what do you want, my friend? Anything you want? I said, quite fancy a bacon sandwich. He went, pork? What do you think we are, infidels? This is a Muslim country. Now kindly drink your woman and leave.
Come on, you got to say. All right, okay. Well, we're gonna move on because we've got a few things we want to talk about. Right here is your choice of word of the day: wank spanner,
I think that one's won already, but go on.
snatch badger, mid fuck crisis, and fuck gnosis.
Just for the benefit of YouTube, what were those first two again?
Wank spanner and snatch badger.
We'll go with Snatch Badger, please.
Okay, no problem. We're going to open this box. Oh, it says the video not found. I can't be bothered. You're going to have to go with wank spanner.
Go with Wank Spanner then, go on.
That says that one's not found either.
The word of the day is mid-fuck crisis.
Choice that
That
was.
moment mid-task, mid-convo, or
Oh, a bit like what just
mid-life when you realise you don't want to do this shit anymore.
Is that what your technology just did? Had to make mid-fuck
Yeah, I had a
crisis?
mid-fuck crisis. Okay, but if you're so desperate, I'll find it and then I'll put it back on. But there you go. There's your word of the day.
I'm not that desperate, but you know, when you get given a choice, it's nice to be able to have that choice, isn't it?
I know. But what can I say? These things happen. Technical things happen. I mean, I can't. I'm not bothered. I'm having a mid-fuck crisis.
I just feel like I'm a bit low down. I keep going up a bit, but I slide down the chair.
Okay, well, in history, I found out quite a few things, especially from the time of the Magna Carta, and I know that you're very hot on those things. Okay, so here's a little something for you. Here we go.
They never needed a leader. They never waited for permission. They just found each other. 1215. A king who answered to no one. He taxed without limit. Imprisoned without trial. He decided who lived and who didn't. Until ordinary people said enough. The barons forced him to a field at Runnymede and made him sign. No free man imprisoned without lawful judgment. The foundation of legal rights across the entire world. 2 years later, it happened again. This time for ordinary people. The Charter of the Forest, 1217. This one wasn't for the barons. It was for the ordinary person, the right to use the land, to feed your family, to survive. For the first time in history, ordinary people had rights written down and guaranteed. Power accepted it. Then found new ways to hold people down, so they found each other again. Medieval serfs, owned by the system. A new tax, the third in 4 years. The poorest paying the same as the richest, in village after village across England. They looked at each other, with no army, just farm tools and longbows. 100,000 people marched on London. Peasants, labourers, craftsmen. The king rode out to meet them, only 14 years old. They made him negotiate face to face. Serfdom never recovered. The feudal system began to crack that day. Centuries passed. Power found new chains. Wages were held down by law, so they found each other again. Dorset, 1834. 6 farm labourers, earning less than they needed to survive. They met under a sycamore tree in Tolpuddle. They asked for a living wage. The government made it illegal overnight. All 6 arrested. Transported to Australia on convict ships. Britain erupted. 800,000 people signed. They marched through London. The government backed down. The Tolpuddle martyrs came home. The global trade union movement had found its moment.
There you go. Now, there's some of the things. Now, this is mixing it up a little bit with the images, okay? But when the people came together, but unions sometimes are not the right answer. I know that because I used to be a member of the Musicians Union. But then they started to actually give a percentage of your subscription to Labour. And that's when I pulled out.
Seem like a good idea in theory, don't they? But then they're
Yeah.
entrenched in communism, so not a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I thought I'd play a little bit of that, just to give a little bit of history to the way that we are.
Like the Postman Pat characters. It was fun.
I know. But they kept on changing the different times. But I think there was a relevance to it at the particular times and the images that they had, because there was lots of troubles at those particular times. Very similar. But anyway. Right, Mark, you are going to talk about these, which is the estimate of the local elections.
Yeah, it's not looking good, is it, for the old Labour there?
No.
I mean, this is just another Britain Elects, just another poll which seems to indicate that they're in for a battering, John, unfortunately.
They're all predicting it. They all know
Yeah,
it.
most of the polls are pretty much roughly like this, to be honest.
What makes them think, or what makes Angela Rayner think?
A few beers.
You didn't let me finish the question. What makes her think that she's going to be the answer? You know, because she's rearing her head. She's rearing her head. She wants to take over the leadership, I'm sure, of the Labour Party.
Good luck with that one. Yeah. Oh, while we're on local elections, there was one this week, Tenbury, Malvern Hills. Now, we talked about this one last week. Reform and Labour weren't in it last time, so it was a Conservative seat. Reform were in it this time, and they've absolutely smashed it, mate, with 45%.
Wow.
Yes, Conservatives on 30, Lib Dems on 12, and Greens on 12. So if you look at the vote share for that one, the cons are down, only 7%. So
where did Reform get the votes?
From?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's got to be Labour, hasn't it?
I don't know. The Libs are up 12.7, but the Greens are down 8.4. So it looks like the Greens have lost some votes. Obviously,
Do you think
Labour
that could be because of the tit whisperer?
I don't know. That says to me you've got... The Labour weren't there last time anyway.
Right, okay.
So that's telling me that there's people there who don't normally vote. It's got to be. Turnout was 41%. So it's not massive.
No, but...
For a by-election, it's not the worst I've seen.
No.
So Reform can come from absolutely nowhere and absolutely trounce that seat.
Yeah.
It's looking like... I mean, if this is an indication that the polls and these results of what's going to happen next week, it's going to be bye-bye Starmer. Well, you think so, don't you? But he digs his heels in, and hopefully he'll stay.
They're all saying it. They're all saying it. They're all saying it. That's why they're all sort of rounding up. And apparently there's a group of Labour MPs that are actually getting together to stop Ange.
Stop her from what? Drinking?
No, stop her from getting anywhere near the leadership of the Labour Party.
One last thing on this. Remember when everyone was saying, oh, you're going to split the right and all this stuff? 45 and 30% for people who can't do maths. It's quite a lot. So then the left-wing vote was 20. No, it wasn't even 15%. I know this is just one little ward, but the vote, if you want to call it the right, 75%. You still got 60% of people haven't bothered to vote.
Yeah.
And people say restore, and people are going to split the right. I don't know. Maybe everyone's right-wing these days. And there's loads of votes to go around, but we're going to find out, aren't we? But that's a stonker in Malvern Hills anyway. So, yeah, Ange, back to Ange anyway.
Yeah, well, they're saying that there are MPs, right, that are actually getting together to actually block her. And think of ways to make sure that she's got no chance.
They all know there's going to be a gap in the market for another equally as useless leader soon, don't they? So they'll be literally fighting like rats in a sack behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Obviously, people are probably thinking Rain is probably going to get the vote from the membership.
Yeah, from the unions. She get the union vote.
You're going to have other people who are going to want to have a go, aren't you? Like Streeton and...
What about the King of the North?
What about, I was going to say Burnham, but it'd be tricky for him, won't it? Then again,
yeah, because he's got to get a seat first. He's got to get a seat somewhere.
Dave, he hasn't got one, has he? I don't think. Does he hold a seat? I don't think he does he? So it is possible, but I'm not sure being Prime Minister, it'd work. But then you're going to look at what Yvette Cooper might want to have a go, Streeton, Burnham. Oh, God. Ed. Crazy Ed. Is he going to want to have a go? It's going to be interesting because either way, they're going to keep hold of Starmer, who perfect, he's useless. Couldn't find someone better to destroy the Labour Party and make them totally unelectable if we tried. Or we can let them fight for 2 or 3 months with David Lammy at the helm. This is going to be amazing. Tell you what, there's going to be some content for them couple of months, isn't it?
Oh my God!
I bet you'll never see a leadership election done and dusted so quickly. And it'll be so good. They'll just be fighting like rats in a sack. You'll have Lammy there. Oh, nothing's going to get done. The country's going to get even worse. Either way, I think the opponents of Labour win.
Well, it is going to look that way. I mean, if they get rid of them, I mean, are we going to be called racists again? You know, for doing what we're doing, because we're going to be speaking about again what happened in Golders Green. We're going to be speaking on. Well. Here's Rupert's answer to when you debate with somebody and then they say, "You're
before
racist."
You move on, if the Muslim was killing the Jews due to race, then he's the racist. If he was killing them because of religion, he's a religionist. I don't know what words do they use for that.
I don't know.
So it just does point it out. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't make sense. But this is what Rupy says.
The key 3 words are when you're called a racist or you're called a bigot or you're called right-wing, which I don't even think we are, I just think we're the common sense party. The 3 key words are, I don't care.
That's it.
No, I prefer couldn't give a shit. Maybe it's an extra word. Oh, well, one. We'll pick the it's an extra letter. Do you know what I mean?
Well, here's Godfrey Bloom, and one of the reasons why Starmer is out of favour all around.
This is quite deliberate. You know, we have politicians who are Fabians, Marxists, whose sole purpose is to degrade the country, and they're doing it by making everything expensive, by deliberately making things inflationary, and this is what they do. And I don't know whether it's even reversible now. And it was the same under the last government. The Boris wave of immigration was under the Conservative Party. It's under the Conservative Party. And so we think we've got an opposition, don't we? An opposition party. We think, oh gosh, we got some new opposition parties on the block. And they're filling up with the last lot. All they're doing is rebadging. It's like a Chinese MG. Yeah, it's a Chinese car. It's not an MG. They've got the badge. And all these comedians who are with these so-called new parties are just the same as the last lot. They don't even bother to hide it. And so it goes on. So when you tell your grandchildren, or you see your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, for posterity, you can say, we did this to ourselves because we were all fast asleep. We were all fast asleep and shrugging our shoulders and saying, what can you do? I don't know.
Well, bit of common sense. I mean, this is the guy that got up in the European Parliament and spoke about fractional banking. And he explained it, why it was killing it for everybody. You know?
He's a clever guy, mate.
He is.
He done our whole party stuff 4 years ago. We done the whole economic manifesto. It was quality. It was really good. Are we going to talk about the Jew stabber?
Yeah.
I thought we were going to when you mentioned Zach.
Well,
if we're ready for that one, he's had a little telling off, hasn't he?
We can go for that. In actual fact, let's find out where he is. Okay.
He's had a little, shall we say, a little bollocking off the police.
Yeah. Is this the? Yeah. Here's Starmer facing the crowds in Golders Green.
Time to go. I don't know what is.
Okay, and here's
You've just been heckled on a visit to Golders Green. One of the victims of this attack says he feels let down and the government isn't doing its job to make Jewish people feel safe. Can you say hand on heart that you have done everything you can, and do you owe the Jewish community in the UK an apology?
Well, can I start by saying I absolutely understand
Start
the
by
high
answering
levels of anxiety and concern that
Look
there
at the
are.
hands.
They're reflected in the various reactions over the last day or two. I completely understand. That anxiety has been there for a very long time.
No, you don't.
And the appalling terrorist
right.
attack yesterday made it worse. In terms of what we've done, we have called an emergency COBRA yesterday to make sure that we're coordinating the response and putting the necessary security in place. I pulled together the various criminal justice agencies this morning to make sure that together we can show that justice will be swift, effective, and visible to give confidence to people. We had already put in enhanced funding for security, and we'll put more funding in now. We're looking at what further measures we can take on protests, particularly in relation to chants, to banners, and the repeated nature of protests.
Do you think he's being put in a corner now because of this to actually put a stop to the Palestinian protests? Because, you know, they're nothing to do with this country. You know, just like he said, you know, the war in Iran is nothing to do with us. Well, why is the Palestinians, you know, why is that to do with us in this country, that culture? Why is it? I just fail to see the common sense in the way that they've been allowing it. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this guy is captured. He is. He's a traitor to his own country.
Well, he was getting told by the public. I think it's time to go when you're getting heckled everywhere you go and called a traitor and a wanker. And again, what have we got here from him? Empty platitudes and let's throw money at it. How are you going to stop people from just randomly attacking people in the street or going and burning things at night or setting fire to synagogues? Or
you need to listen to this.
In fact, before you do, why does the world? And look, I'm not belittling what's happened, but how come when it happens to the Jews, the fucking whole world ends? But then when it happens to us for the last 20 or 30 years, it's don't look back in anger.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Like a serious question, like. Why are we bottom of the pile again? Look, I don't want anyone killed by jihadis.
Because these people are, without a shadow of a doubt, they are destroying this country. They're replacing us. They're destroying it. They are actually, as Godfrey says, I think they hate this country. Him, Lord Hermit, the guy that's attacking all those soldiers. I mean, why are they being allowed to get away with it? I mean, the reason why I showed you that you know, the history piece was to show that the people stood up and said enough, and they forced them into a corner. Now, what is it going to take to actually make sure that this guy actually goes? Because everybody's fed up and they're dancing around. Why are they letting them talk such shit? Just call it as it is, like Rupert's doing.
Yeah, and you know what, actually, you know, we haven't been the biggest supporter of some of the actions the police have done. But on this occasion with this, I actually fully support what they did and what they said.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh,
he's
made an apology.
Well, good, because I'm not being funny. Right, well, there's a story to this stabber, this jihadi stabber. So in 2008, he actually stabbed 2 police officers and their dog. Right, he got 8 years.
Yeah,
and you can imagine what happened. He got half of that, right? And he still got his piece of paper to say he's British or whatever. Nonsense.
Why wasn't he deported? Why didn't they just kick him out of the country?
He should have stripped it and got rid, but we didn't. So, and he was referred to prevent.
They did it to Shabana Begum, didn't she? Didn't they?
Exactly. So it is possible, mate. So, as I say, he was reported to prevent in 2020. Case closed, same year. And here we are, 2026. And he's stabbing Jews. And then what do we get? We get people on the left absolutely crying about the force that was used. Look, look, you can't even kick a murderous jihadi in the head to stop him anymore, or these wet wipes cry like babies, John.
Oh, God, no. I'd have played football with his head. There would have been no doubt about it. I'd have kicked it, and then I'd have been playing football with it.
The irony of being told off by the woke Met police, right, for your us and them rhetoric. From the man who bangs on about division all the time, division.
Yeah.
I'd send Zach Dave. I'd send Dave, right? Dave, Zach, whatever he wants to call himself. Zach with 10 names.
He's a
right?
Jew. He's a Jew.
This is what they do with Tommy. It's not his real name. It's not his real name. So Zach Blansky, a.k.a. not his real name, David Poulsen or whatever his name is, right? Next time there's jihadi running around with a knife, right? Send him. Send him. Get him on the phone.
Yeah.
Dave, job for you, mate. And see what that absolute wet wipe does, John, because I'm not being funny. I've been in situations like that, right, where you're dealing with psychotic people, members of the public, and it's stressful, mate. And you will do what you have to do.
Yeah.
You've got to remember, this guy's already stabbed police officers. They probably didn't know this, did they? But at the end of the day, he still had the knife. He'd been tasered. It hadn't properly worked. He had something on what looked like a flipping suicide belt. Sorry, but if I was a member of the public, probably would have done a little bit worse to him than what they did. You know, there's people who are called heroes on London Bridge for taking these people down. Yet when the police do it, the first thing is, you can't do that. Well, then, Dave, you take him on, Dave, right, when he's got a knife and a possible suicide vest, and you're not even an armed copper. I mean, I think I'd be all right with me taser and me gas and especially me truncheon. Man, it wouldn't last 2 seconds. Dave, nah, you got no chance, mate.
Yeah.
Absolutely no chance.
Yeah, Frankie's got some suggestions.
Go ahead, Frankie. What's the suggestion, mate?
Well, first one is we should get together one day for a pint. That sounds good. I like that. I like the sound of that. Okay.
Okay.
And
I thought you had suggestions what we can do with Zach, Dave, jihadis.
No,
but the problem here is they're never going to fix this until they first get past the denial stage.
Yeah.
So put your hands up and say it's Islamic hatred of Jews. Just say it.
It's Islam. Islam is the problem.
And it's not just the Jews. They hate everyone who isn't a non-Muslim. I'm not saying all of them hate, but it's in the scripture to do it. Jihad, compulsory. Sorry. That doesn't mean they're all going to do it.
No.
Even if a small amount do.
Hello, Andrea. How you doing?
Hello, Andrea. Oh, caught live. Brilliant. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Anyway.
Yeah.
What do we do with that? And this is the worrying thing. So you've got this inept wet wipe. And then the other alternative on the left is someone who literally won't support the police or nothing.
Yeah, that's right.
He's going to cry about everything.
Well, here's Nick Ferrari. Here's Nick Ferrari. And he was tearing Shabana Mahmood a new one. Listen to this.
This is all too many words from you, from the Home Secretary, from the Prime Minister, from the London Mayor. The Prime Minister saying we must deal with the roots of anti-Semitism. What does that look like in practical terms?
The government has already funded more money for education so that we can tackle this hatred at root.
What sort of education?
Target that children specifically through our schools so that we can start to clamp down on what is becoming a more permissive environment for anti-Semitism.
What additional classes are held? To tell me how that works. What is on the syllabus that wasn't there before?
Well, this is a programme that is being led by the Department for Education. They've made £7 million available, and that is being developed as a new tool for schools to use in order to tackle anti-Semitism. There are also reviews into what more we need to do within our schools, colleges, universities, and in our NHS.
Meanwhile, there are firebombs and people being stabbed. Can we stop with the reviews and have some action?
I do understand that there is a sense of slowness in action. That is because it's important to get the response right, and that those reviews will make recommendations that the government will follow through on in order to deal with the wider problem of anti-Semitism that we are seeing across our society.
Okay, now
permission to have a rant.
I'm sure everybody that's watching that would see. She's been put up as a sacrificial lamb because Starmer, everywhere he goes, people are just slating him and they're pulling him down because he is full of shit. There is no two ways about it. And any of his MPs that support him, no, they're not gonna keep their seats at the next election. They're not. And people will be pushing, especially the Conservatives, because they think they've got a chance of garnering more seats. But it's going to be between Reform, I think, and Restore. And Rupi is the harder out of the bunch, in my opinion.
Look, we're going to need someone hard, John. What she just done there basically said it's a kid's fault. So what we'll do is we'll go into schools and we'll try and teach them not
Yeah.
to be animal to the Jew. So we've got to wait now. So some of these people who've been stabbing people and setting fire to stuff and all that are in the 30s and 40s. So we've got to wait another 20 years, have we, for the result? So it is going to be a long, slow process. Well, it can't be done quickly. Well, it can't if you're going to wait for 2 fucking decades until it's actually escalated to a point where you ain't stopping it at all, my love. So how about let's tackle the scripture, the history.
Yeah.
What they're replicating is the examples of Muhammad and the Muslims over time, what they've done to the Jews.
Yeah.
Are we going to look at the sermons in mosques? Are you going to deal with any of this shit? Or are we going to go, oh, we got to go in the schools and brainwash the kids? So you're going to go into school now and tell my son he's anti-Semitic, right, when he doesn't even know anything about this? Is that what you're going to do, you absolute rats?
Well, they're going to assume everybody is anti-Semitic in order to justify the teaching. I mean, why don't they just remove the offensive books in the school? I'll be straight with you, the Islamic books.
Because you know what that's going to result in, don't you?
Well, who cares? As Rupi says, I just don't care.
No, me neither. I'm telling you now, right, when they find these books in these schools and misogynist and homophobic and anti-Western and all that, do they ever tell you what the books are called?
No.
Well, there's a reason for that, John, then, isn't there? Because I know what all the books are called. And if it's not those books, the main ones in Islamic scripture, if it's not them, it's all come from them in the first place.
Yeah.
So you could probably literally, being funny, you could probably shut every mosque down tomorrow because they're all in there.
They're all in there, yeah.
And then when you look at Germany and France, mate, they'll go in and raid these extreme mosques where the hate speech, so-called hate speech, has been preached, and they find guns and bombs and all kinds of stuff. I mean, at worst, at best, probably
it's
you're
happening.
Find all the weapons they told them to go and hide back in baseball bats and that.
It's happening all over Europe. Listen to this guy. All right.
She won't. Before you do, she won't do any of this because what does she say? Her whole life revolves around
Islam. She says it revolves around Islam.
So she won't even the words won't even enter her lips when it's Jew hatred. They call it anti-Semitism in all its forms.
Yeah.
And it's like, in what forms? Because I don't see any far right doing any of the anti-Semitism, do you?
No.
No.
Well,
so there's only one form it comes in, and unfortunately, grow some bollocks, everyone, and it's Islamic.
Well,
the end.
You don't know. Some of these women in the Labour Party might grow some.
I mean, there are.
Well, here's Milan Mazurek. He's a Slovakian MEP. And I picked up on this, and this guy was kicked out for the first time because he defamed somebody, one of his Slovakian, counterparts, and he was booted out, but then he was voted back in again with no problem. Here he is, Milan Mazurek, MEP.
She's winding me up.
Have lost your minds. In Spain, they just legalized the residence of 500,000 illegal aliens. In France, they throw grenades into hair salons in a broad daylight. In Germany, not a single day goes by without someone being murdered with a knife. In Sweden, for example, you have bomb attack every other day. I can continue, but you just don't care. Those are not real problems for the European left-wing politicians. No, you are going to solve the situation in Minnesota. You are seriously discussing here the rule of law in the United States and criticizing American government for deporting illegal aliens, for deporting criminals out of their territory in the same time when Western European cities are gradually turning into war zones. We should do exactly the same. We should deport them from Europe and not legalize their stay. We should listen to them and not what you are proposing to all of us. Everybody can see now you are enemies of Europe. You hate Europe, you hate our nations, and you want to destroy the future for our children. We should stop you, we should defeat you politically if we want to survive. Otherwise, it will be the end of Europe.
Tell us what you've been told.
So I do have a source within the Iranian Persian diaspora who is one of the best connected human beings in the world that I know. And he told me last night that he knows for a fact that over the course of the last few weeks there have been Iranian operatives that have been crossing in the English Channel in small boats To put that in simple terms, we are importing terrorists into our country from across the English Channel, and I challenge the British government. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong, because I think given everything we're seeing, it almost makes sense that they would do that.
Now, he's saying that they're coming over on small boats, and we're getting Iranians coming in to disrupt this country. Why is this country on the highest terrorist alert right now?
It always is. It always should be, really. Because they've just had something and, oh, there's been a terror attack. Well, we better tell everyone there could be another one. Yeah, no shit, Sherlocks. Absolute geniuses, aren't they? We've literally been under attack since the early 2000s, John.
I know, but he's actually stating a fact. He's turning around and saying, as a fact, that they're coming in on small boats. So these are people that are going to, bomb the fuck and cause problems, for the people in this country. Okay.
Oh, there's so many in already.
I know, but why is it that when other countries are closing down the offices and the embassies of Iran and the IRGC, why is it that this is the only country that they still have a fucking office in?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it could be as simple as anything Orange Man Bad does, we've got to oppose. So we'll even join as enemies, do you know? Honestly, the Trump derangement syndrome and that everyone on the right are all racist, it whips these people up in such a frenzy. They'll do anything to come after you.
They're coming in. They're money laundering. You sent in a story about convenience stores and the way that they were. Do you want to see that? Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, because it kind of follows on from what that guy was saying in the Parliament. I mean, it's. What do you want me to start while you're finding it? It's about taking.
No, got it.
Let's talk to the Metropolitan Police Superintendent, former Metropolitan Police Superintendent Kevin Hurley, about this very concerning story about half of convenience shops in the UK linked to criminal gangs in various UK hotspots. This is research identifying 2 corridors of crime, one in coastal towns across Dorset, Hampshire and Sussex, the second from Liverpool on the west coast to Hull and Grimsby. Up to half of convenience stores in these areas and a quarter of fast food takeaways linked to organised crime. Kevin, how are they linked to organised crime?
What they're used for is sources for organised criminals to launder their money back into the system to legitimise it. So, for example, it's well known that Turkish Kurds are involved in massive importation of heroin into the country, and it's therefore not surprising to see a proliferation of Kurdish-Turkish barber shops all across Surrey, in places like Epsom and so on, close to where I live, as a way that they don't do much business, but it's a way then for them to put cash that's come from drug money back through the books, and then it's laundered. I can remember back in 1991, 92, when I was based at Wandsworth Police Station, there was a Chinese restaurant quite nearby. In fact, it used to be very tempting because you could smell the garlic of an evening.
Okay, Mark. Well, you can see what he's saying. Now, if those Iranian operatives are coming in, that's how they're getting pumping the money in, to do things through these things. Because most of these people that run these places, they're Muslim.
Yeah, and if you think it's just these few towns they've mentioned there, then you've got to be joking, haven't you? These places are across every town and city in the country. And it's not just the organised crime. What about the grooming of children? And if anything, the less of it all is just an obesity epidemic with all these takeaways.
Yeah.
No good ever comes from these places. And if you've got the other video, you'll see why, because there's turf wars between these kebab shops and
I've got it.
turf barbers and that.
Do you want me to run it?
Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, they fight with knives in the street. And then what are we doing then? Oh, the wonderful authorities are sending council workers to try and challenge these criminal gangs, are they? Absolutely quality. Hey, that's me being sarcastic, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Just stupidity of the people we love and
A machete on display in broad daylight.
BBC.
I've just got a shop with samurai swords in there.
You're watching extreme violence on our high streets. This was a daytime brawl.
You got a crowbar?
Barbers fighting over territory.
Get it, man, get it!
To on-street beatings. And this is kebab shop turf wars. For the first time, we've heard the stories of dozens of trading standards officers facing death threats and abuse.
And he said, we're going to kill you and we will burn down your house.
This is Mandy's story. She was investigating a UK-wide Kurdish crime gang selling illegal cigarettes through mini-marts.
A male voice shouting, swearing on the phone, do you know you deal with? You need to stop. If you don't, we're going to kill your husband, we're going to kill you and we will burn down your house.
She was also followed home and confronted.
He then started to make threats that he knows where I live, and if I don't give the cash that I seize from him, he's going to make my address and personal telephone number known to everybody. Bear in mind, he was a failed asylum seeker, not permitted to work.
She says the intimidation escalated. Her car was rammed. This was the CCTV. The damage cost thousands.
So we've decided to sell our house. And this was supposed to be my forever home because I immigrated from South Africa to get away from that fear in your own home. And now I'm back at that in this country and I didn't expect that.
We've been told about repeated death threats, with one mini-mart worker shouting, I will kill you, to trading standards. Also, a female officer was threatened with rape on the high street. Another was forced to watch pornography, while one was poked in the breast. And weapons have been found in shops, axes, bats and blades.
I suppose the police need proof, absolute proof, before they will go in and do anything. I mean, because, I'm beginning to see now that the police, look at this, look at that. Okay? The police actually will turn around to you and something, because, we've made an allegation of a fraud that's gone on in Cheshire. And I can tell you now, the police have actually said, no evidence has been provided. What have we got to do? Have we got to provide the whole investigation of everything and also show somebody going into the bank? And get pictures of it, and they stand it so that we could deliver it to them, so that they can just go to the CPS and say, here's the case. Prosecute it, please. Well done, people. We've done a great job there. Okay? Look at that woman. Those are real tears on her face. You can see her eyes are all red.
Maybe make a meme, mate, and stick that online. They'll be around in seconds.
Yeah, they'll be around in seconds. Well, they should be thinking about it now, okay? Because once a complaint goes in, it's not really going to be easy to get rid of. And the people involved are going to know that there is a political answer to this. Political answer. Now, you look at this. Why haven't they arrested those people?
Well, they might have done, but they're not telling us if they have or they haven't. And that's
they should actually show it. They should get that guy with the knife, show him, taking the knife off him, because that's what they do in other countries. They strip them of the weapons and they make them look like fools. They embarrass them. Look at what Trump did to Maduro. They put Mickey Mouse ears on him.
Yeah, why not? Look, if anyone thinks all these people are fighting over kebab turf wars and barbers, yeah, right, whatever. Probably more like the heroin and all the other stuff and which girls they're grooming.
Yeah.
Do you know, these puny measures don't work. They don't work.
But yet they can go in. They can go in to that, religion of peace with 500 officers.
Yeah, now there's like 9 of them are on bail now. And they were issuing threats to the police and the government and stuff while they were there. So I wonder what else they'll find when they're in there.
Oh, wait, here it is. Here it is.
No.
This is what you sent.
That's just
You wait until your time's coming. Your whole fucking government, all of you.
Look at that, right in front of your face. Right in front of your face. We're coming for your whole government. We're coming for... Do you know, I just cannot understand, okay?
Yeah.
You know what it is. I mean, Frankie's turning around and saying, send the Marines in. Okay? No proof needed. Just get them in.
Yeah,
because these people are allowed. They're allowing them. They're facilitating them to be able to do what they do. If they actually sent the SAS in on those gangs, just like the way that Trump sent in some real hard cases, right, to go bust these gangs up, and they didn't piss around. They went in and they killed them. They didn't piss around. They did it. They just went in, they killed them, and showed who was boss. Because our army is bigger than yours. Although I can't say that at the moment, this country, because they're so piss poor at actually reacting and doing the right thing.
Yeah, we've got to stop being tolerant of the intolerant. These puny measures aren't going to work. We'll ban Sharia courts and we'll stop halal and cousin marriage. That's not going to fix it. They're just going to carry on. You can't send council workers to tackle these criminal gangs. They'll just threaten them. They threaten the grooming victims. Nothing ever happens.
Yeah.
Again, it's time to vote all these shithouses out. Get some people in with some testicles.
Because what are they going to do?
Got a chance of getting someone to go in there and just get these people out this country.
Yeah.
And if it so happens we're struggling because of, I don't know, lawyers and passports and things, we'll find an island that's ours and shove them on that instead.
Well, you see, the thing is, here's another option for people. If they crowdfund it, they can actually take private prosecutions out against the people. Now, you can do that, and then I guarantee the CPS, as soon as they know that they're going to be made to look like idiots, they'll jump in. They'll take it over.
Yeah, and then destroy the whole thing, which is what
they can try. They can try. If there's politicization, of the police and the authorities, and once that creeps in, you've got to stamp it out. That's why Trump was so keen to drain the swamp and to get rid of these people.
It's just, we could sit here till we're blue in the face asking, why won't they do anything? It's pointless hoping, praying, asking these traitors to do anything. All our efforts, everything, all eggs in one basket, get them out. Then when we get control, we'll get rid of these people.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all we can do. Is it? Sometimes we just go around in circles, just saying the same things every week. But now people have got to get off arses and get this done now.
Well, I'm sorry to say this, but here's Farage who's going to have the last word before we go on to the MVid, because you've got things to do. I've got things to do. I've got it off my chest. Yes, I'm not happy. Okay, and I know that a lot of other people aren't happy about it as well. They all agree. It's just, what vehicle have we got to express ourselves and to say it? Because we can go out and we can get it off our chest in a way like this, going out, and people will be watching it and they know what the score is. And the difference is that we will pay for muscle to actually do the job that is necessary if we feel threatened. Because if the police can't protect you, well then, you just pay somebody to do it. Simple as that. And that's what some of these vloggers out there do. They have people to protect them. So there you go. Get the message out. But here's what Farage has to say about Starmer.
A crushing defeat in Labour's heartlands on May the 7th will see the end of the Prime Minister by midsummer. And that's, yes, one of the key things, not the only thing, one of the key things we've been campaigning on. I genuinely believe that Reform are going to do so well in the Midlands, the North, South Wales, that it will be the end of the Prime Minister. And frankly, I'm of the view that this is the most unpatriotic, un-British, dissembling Prime Minister that the country's ever had.
Well, can you argue with that?
I can, but we'll be here for ages. It was actually Tony Blair, but this guy's close. Sorry, Blair done way more damage to the English Constitution.
He did. You're right.
Could even try and attempt a plan with his tiny pea brain. So Starmer's just destroying it all because he's fucking useless, to be honest.
Wow.
It's all with Starmer. Everything's about justice. Everything's about after the fact, because he's a legal beagle. How about stopping it before it gets to that point? You coward.
He is a coward. There's no two ways about it. And there's something very, very wrong about this government. Something very wrong. And any Labour MP that thinks that they're going to wait. I mean, we just sent out a message to all the Labour MPs round in this area. If you think for one instant that we're going to just sit back and watch you guys seemingly get voted in again, ain't going to happen. we will help and we will make sure and we will provide some really great PR for people that need to beat you and get you out. Because we need somebody else in. I don't know who it is, Mark. I don't know whether it's going to be reform or, at the moment, it's looking like, you can't argue with it. In May, it's going to be reform, isn't it?
Well, if the polls are anything to go by and some of the results we've talked about from by-elections, then yeah. But then can they hold the seats? Because they're not doing the best at holding them either. So
yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Well, all right, okay. Well, what are you always calling Kia?
A wanker. Gobshite. Moron.
Well, this is what...
Tosser. Bellend. I don't know, narrow it down, mate. I call him a lot of things.
This is what this is what I always call him.
Yeah, that'll do as well. A Fabian one at that, yeah.
Well, you always call him a bot. And I searched the net.
Starmerbot.
Starmerbot. You call him a bot. I found an NVID, which is like sort of retro, but in actual fact, if you listen to the words, yeah. Well, I would like you to have a great bank holiday, sir. I know, and lots of good business. And I hope you have a great weekend. I hope everybody that's been listening, all the people there, thank you very much for coming in. And those who are about to listen, remember now, choose not to be offended. Because if you're going to watch, that's it.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
it is a choice. It is a choice.
Choose not to be offended. Here you go.
Wet
wipe. Yes, wet wipe.
Tuning in. Are we doing one Monday? It's bank holiday, isn't it? Probably will.
We probably will, yeah. We'll probably have things over the weekend that will go up. Anyway, here we go. CareBot.
I am the 2.0 model of a modern crime minister. I'll put you under quicker, any sedatives administer. I have no edges, I have no glare. I have a perfect, unmoving head of hair. I scan the data, I read the screen. I am the dullest man you've ever seen. He's processing. He's processing still. Still processing. Processing still. Stormer system check. No personality to detect. Spineless, no one just flexible. No, I'm undetectable. I'm the human anesthetic in a tailored suit. Press the button for a factory reboot. Look at the U-turn, see how it glides. I cannot you.
What do you think? It's clever, isn't it?
Yeah, he is. Armor boss, isn't he?
Starmerbot.
Change my settings and vanish from sight. Does he have a skull? Does he have a goal? Does he have a spine? Chicken, native backbone now found. Gears on the system check. No personality to detect. Spineless, no, I'm just flexible. a factory reboot. I am the government of service.
I think this is so clever, Mark. See you later, everybody. See you, Mark.